Hey, it's the Common Magician, and I want to try an experiment with you. I've got a deck of cards here it is completely random. It is a shuffled deck of cards. I want you, though, to verify it. Go ahead and pick the cards up on your own, and you give them a shuffle. So the spectator would be able to shuffle the cards until they are satisfied that the cards are indeed shuffled. Once you're satisfied, go ahead and set the cards down on the table right there. Now, here's what I want you to do. I want you to cut into the deck about halfway. Cut out about half of the cards. Again, you can have a free choice here, but about half of it, and set them on the table. So you would make the cut. Now, I want you to pick up these cards that you cut off. Go ahead and put them in your hand, and I want you to count them face down one at a time on the table right here. Count through. Let's see how many cards you cut into. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28 cards. Go ahead and take the 28th card, which is the 28th card in the deck that you shuffled and you freely selected. Go ahead and turn it over. Let's see what it is. It's the 3 of clubs at the 28th position. Now, I just want to recap that you did this all on your own. Yes, you shuffled the deck. Yes, it's the 28th position, and you selected that place quite freely on your own. Yes, and what we're going to do is we're going to essentially do the same kind of thing again, but we want to verify again that you're not an accomplice with me. Okay, so again, you can see that the cards are indeed out of order. Let's try something very quickly. Can you please cut off about 1/4 of the deck, 1/4 to 1/3, just a small packet, very good. And then we'll cut off another packet, and then you have a packet over here, so we all have a different one. I want to teach you how to shuffle efficiently. If you pick up your packet, each of you, we're going to do what's called the overhand shuffle. The overhand shuffle works like this. You take the packet from underneath like this, and then with your free hand, you're going to thumb off a few cards at a time, just like this. And then you're going to work your way down through the packet until you've shuffled off all of the cards in the packet and you've changed their order. So you will do the same thing over here. We would all be doing this at the same time and shuffling our cards just like that. Very good. And then what we're going to do is we're just going to put this mess back together. Now, this is a shuffled deck, and there's no way we could all be in on this, right? Now, it's possible that you were an accomplice with me, but not all of us all together. And we've all shuffled the cards, okay? Now, I want you to pick up those cards one more time, and I want you to count down from the top, from the shuffled deck. It's been washed on the table. It's been shuffled by all of us. Count down to the 28th card. Go ahead and deal face down right there to 28. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, the 28th card. Would it not be amazing if the 28th card was exactly the same card that you freely selected at the beginning from a shuffled deck, a deck that you shuffled from a place that you cut into and that you counted down to? Would it not be amazing if we repeated that exact same feat? Go ahead and turn that over. Number 28 is the 3 of clubs. All right, it's the Common Magician again, and we are going to look at another shuffling principle. I thought as we were looking at the shuffleboard plot here lately, that I would examine another of my favorite principles. It's kind of self-working. It requires a little bit of audience management, but it's a principle that makes the outcome work really almost in the spectator's hands. There's a little bit of a hands-on moment here that we have to in order to apply it. This is a favorite principle of magician Danny De Ortiz. If you've ever watched his magic, this is something that he uses quite a bit. However, he usually applies a much more, I guess you would call it a risky format of spectator management. He has ways of having the spectators do some pretty clever things, and he manages them in a way to make them do it. We're going to do a considerably less risky version of this principle, where we're going to get our hands on it and really deal directly with the one thing that cannot be dealt with by the spectators. So it works like this, very quickly. You have a deck of cards. It is freely shuffled. Now, I'm going to show you some nuance here to this, a little bit of subtlety that will help with a move that we have to do, which is a false shuffle. And it's kind of a throwaway thing. It's not something that you make a deal out of or that you point to. You just do it. And the spectators, in hindsight, will find that one moment to be a real wrinkle. and everything that happened, okay? And it starts like this. You see, I've got a deck of cards here. It's a completely shuffled deck of cards. Now, what I'm going to do here is a false shuffle. Now, there's no reason to really do a false shuffle, but I'm going to do a false shuffle because I'm going to do the same false shuffle again later, and I don't want the spectators to notice any kind of discrepancy in what I'm doing later with what I'm doing now. So I'm kind of priming their vision without them knowing it. They're going to watch me do this, and in their mind, it will be authentic so that when they see it again later, it will seem authentic then as well. Okay, so it looks like a table wash shuffle, but it's actually a false table wash. We've covered this before. It's an idea that I've seen from Leonard Green, and he does it like this. He'll take the cards and he will dribble them onto the table, and you take the top card and you make sure that the top card slides underneath the bottom card of the spread. Okay, like this. So you have kind of this wheel that goes around. Now what he does is he'll put his finger in the middle and he'll spin the cards around it, kind of in a humorous sort of way. We're not going to do that. We're just going to stick the top card under the bottom card, and what I do is I put my hands on it and I take the middle back here where I stuck the bottom card under the top card under the bottom, and I push it forward and I make it divide the cards in half. So what I'm really doing is just cutting the deck. I'm really putting the top on the bottom and the bottom on the top. Okay, and then I collect them up. So again, at speed, this false shuffle, which isn't necessary right now, we're just doing it to prime people's minds and their vision, works like this. You take the cards, you dribble them down like this. You want to try to make sure that the orientation of the cards changes so that they're not all in the same orientation. It just makes this look a little bit better. We stick the top card under the bottom card, and then we push forward, we split the cards, and then we collect them back. You can actually push that middle way out there like this and bring it back and let that sit for a moment. This looks like you're really, shuffling the cards and mixing them up. You just do that without making a deal out of it. You say, I've got a shuffled deck of cards, but I want to make sure that you know that they're shuffled. So the way I want to do this is I want you to shuffle them. Go ahead, you take the cards, pick them up, and you give them a shuffle. So we've primed them with that false shuffle. Now they're going to shuffle the cards. They're going to shuffle them any way that they want to until they're happy. It really does not matter. Then you tell them to put the cards down on the table, and then you have to kind of guide them a little bit. You're going to tell them to cut about half of the deck and set it over here. Now, the way I word it, as I say, I want you to cut into the deck about halfway, make two kind of even piles, but really you can cut anywhere you want, as long as it's kind of in the center, right? What I'm doing is I'm really telling them to cut a number of cards from about 20 to 30 without actually saying it out loud, okay? So I say, go ahead, cut about half of the deck. That direction right there will make them cut into a very specific area without cutting shallow, cutting short, or cutting deep, okay? So you'll have them cut, and then you impress upon them, say, now you could cut anywhere that you wanted to. This is the number that you cut to. Let's see how many cards you have. Go ahead and pick up that top section, and I want you to count face down on the table, down and count how many cards you have, okay? So they'll do this. Now I want to note this is the first part of the mechanics that the spectator is going to do for you. As they are counting, they are reversing this pack. Okay, so they're counting down through, okay, and they're counting them out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. They cut to 24 cards. It should be, again, somewhere between 20 and 30, hopefully much more central than that. And you have them turn over that card, the 24th card. Now, what they've actually done is they reversed the packet from the top to the bottom. And now this card is not 24th from the top anymore. It's actually 24th from the bottom because they reversed the packet. And it is the 8 of diamonds. So you tell them, you freely cut to 24 cards. It is the 8 of diamonds. Then you reach in, turn that card over, pick up the bottom cards, and then dribble them on top. Okay, kind of sloppily, but dribble them. So now we have the 24th card from the bottom is the 8 of diamonds. Now all we need to do is we need to reverse the deck so that we get that back to 24 from the top again. That's really all we're going to do. Now the way that we're going to do it is we're going to give a false shuffle kind of offhand here, and then we're going to make the spectators participate in reversing the order. Okay, so give the false shuffle again as you were telling them. Now you just cut into the deck anywhere you wanted to from a shuffle deck, and as I'm saying that, I'm going to look at the bottom card, my key card, which is the 2 of spades. Remember, 24 cards. We're going to cut 2 later. 8 of diamonds, 2 of spades, and I'm going to dribble the cards onto the table again while I am recapping what happened, okay? So 2 of spades is my key card. I'm going to slide under the top card underneath the bottom, and then I'm going to push it forward like I'm doing a table wash. Again, see, it's just one big long ribbon of cards, and as long as I keep that together, it will work. I pick up the cards and I say, now you cut wherever you wanted to, and you came to the 24th position, which happened to be the 8 of diamonds, and as I pick up the cards, I verify that they are in no particular order, and what I'm looking for is my key card, which is the 2 of spades right there, okay? So I find my key card, and then I drop that portion to the table. So what I'm doing is I'm uncutting the deck. Okay, so now the cards are actually back in the exact same position they were before I did my wash. Now, do not make a deal out of this. Don't say, I'm going to shuffle the cards. Don't say, I'm going to do a table wash. Recap what they did as you do this, okay? And then say, now we're back to the beginning, and we're going to shuffle this even more. In fact, I want to prove that there's no way that you were in on this with me. Now, maybe you were doing this with me, but it couldn't be that all of us are. So what I want you to do is I want you to take off about 1/4 of the deck. Now, I nuance it this way. I say 1/4 so that I have them cut really shallow. As they're cutting and they pick it up and set it down, I say 1/4 to 1/3. And you put that in there as if they had more of a choice, okay? So you say, cut off about 1/4 of the deck and put it right here. And they do that, say 1/4 to 1/3. That's perfect. And then I reach in, I say, we're just going to cut off another portion about the same. Now this portion, I'm going to cut kind of deep, kind of liberal, so I have a bigger packet here. Now remember, the card, the 8 of diamonds, is 24th from the bottom of the entire deck. And it should be in my packet right here. And then that leaves us with the 3rd section. Now I'm going to tell the spectators that I'm going to teach them how to efficiently shuffle. So I take my packet and I'm going to show them an overhand shuffle, but I'm going to cheat, okay? At first I'm going to say you're going to take a few cards off, and I'm going to thin off just about 2 of them, okay? And you take those off, and then you take another packet on top of that, and I just take 1 card. And I get them started. Now, they should be doing this with their packet. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to shuffle 1 card to 1 card until I get to the end. So all I'm doing is I'm reversing the number. I'm reversing all of the cards, okay? Now, the very first 2 cards, which are far enough away from that 24th position, the first 2 cards I took off in my demonstration, but all the rest of them I thumbed off 1 to 1. Now, what they're going to be doing is fumbling around and trying to shuffle their packets, right, legitimately. Okay, so this is something that you're doing. It's being misdirected by the fact that they are busy as well shuffling. Now all I need to do is I need to reverse my packets, because I reversed the order of these cards here. I need to get the number of cards that was underneath that on top and the number that was on top underneath. So this was the top. I'm going to take my middle packet. I'm going to put it on the top packet. Then I'm going to take the bottom packet and I'm going to put it on top of that. And then I'm going to centralize the cards. Now, everybody is convinced at this moment that we have shuffled the deck completely, okay? All I need to do is have a spectator pick up the cards and tell them to count down to the 24th card. And if they do that, you'll see what happens. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23. And you want to build this up, have them pause right there and say, wouldn't it be amazing if the 24th card was exactly the same as what it was when you did this the first time from a deck that you shuffled? We've all shuffled it now this time. This is a shuffled deck. Okay, we started over. It's been washed on the table. Now is a time when you can kind of reflect back on what you did there. Say we washed the cards, we cut it up, we shuffled it, and we put the mess back together. 24th card, 8 of diamonds, what do we have? And sure enough, it's going to be the 8 of diamonds every time. It's surefire. It's just a very, very simple mathematical reversal for that 1 card to get it back in the position that it was. So really, really good principle that you can apply in a lot of different magic tricks, a lot of different routines. This is just a very direct use of it, where you can get the audience to believe that they did all the work themselves and they replicated something absolutely impossible. So false shuffle in there to throw them off, and then a reversal of the packet to get that card back to where it started. So good luck with that, and happy magicking.